Hey everybody, another update here on the GameStop frenzy. This weekend, Keith Gill, aka RoaringKitty / Deep Fucking Value, revealed his massive position in GameStop on the Super Stonk subreddit, including 5 million shares and 120,000 call contracts. Over the last several weeks since RoaringKitty's return in the last GameStop pop, Unusual Whales and members of the Unusual Whales community have been closely monitoring unusual options activity for the gaming company. One strike in particular garnered a ton of attention: the $20 call strike expiring on June 21st, 2024. The position in the $20 call started building on May 20th when nearly 10,000 contracts carried over into open interest at an average fill of $4.74 per contract, while GameStop traded at just $20.32 per share. Over the next 2 weeks, this position grew significantly, with 65,000 contracts carrying over into open interest from the 22nd to the 23rd at an average of $5.97 per contract. And on May 31st, the total open interest had grown to over 144,000 contracts, 120,000 of which now sit in the portfolio of Keith Gill. Unusual Whales tracked this position in real time and summarized the day-to-day play-by-play. We can see that Keith added between $2 and $4 million worth of contracts every single day since May 20th, leading up to the big reveal on Sunday, June 2nd. Here on the GameStop ticker overview, you can even note the spikes in net premium following this green line up top. Each time RoaringKitty placed one of his massive transactions on the $20 call, this green line spikes dramatically. Here on the 29th, we have a bit of a lull, and then boom, on the 30th, again, another massive spike in net call premium as Keith entered more contracts on the GME $20 call. At the time of recording, RoaringKitty's position sits at 120,000 contracts, totaling over $68 million of investment. In pre-market trading on June 3rd, GameStop traded as high as $47.55 per share. At market open of June 3rd, GameStop traded as high as $40.51 per share. And the value of the GME $20 call contract for June 21st, 2024 ripped as high as $21.10 per contract. That means at the morning's peak, RoaringKitty's position, worth around $68 million as of Friday, May 31st, was worth as much as $253 million. A 272% gain from his original entry cost of $5.67 per contract. Looking now at the volume of the contract, as of the time of recording, there's no evidence at all that Keith has taken profit on his position, given his holdings of 120,000 contracts and only 4,806 contracts having transacted so far on the day. Remember to keep an eye on the Unusual Whales Twitter X page for updates on RoaringKitty's GME trade, and check the flow link in the description so that you can follow along with this trade for yourself. Clicking that link will take you directly to the contract lookup page for this specific contract. If you want to follow along more closely with this trade, you can set up a custom alert for this specific contract. So the first thing we're going to do is copy the chain ID. Then we're going to click on the bell and go to custom alerts. Now here, since we're only looking at this specific contract, we're going to click contract alert for the ticker GME. We'll title this RoaringKitty's GME trade. Now, since there's such high open interest and 120,000 contracts in that open interest are RoaringKitty's contracts, I want to see a lot of volume transact. So here we're going to put a volume has to be greater than 55,000 for this to trigger an alert. We also want to see these contracts transacting at the bid to signify the closure of ask side positions. So here I want to put this bid percent to be at least 55% near or at the bid. Now remember that contract chain ID we copied. We're going to come down here to the option chain ID and paste that in. And then we'll go ahead and click create alert. And now in our alerts, we will be told if over 55,000 volume transacts on that one contract, with 55% of it transacting at or near the bid. That way we can follow along to see if this position ever starts to close.